It was like 10 weeks and it was flat out constantly. I'm not saying I'd have to train less for the Misfits event, but I feel like I'm way more prepared on a shorter notice to do that sort of thing, and the reward is way bigger than what any of the other shows are.
Yeah, we did, and yeah, we are dealing with him.
Yeah.
We're just not posting it.
I had to say something to him because I'm like, or almost not in awe of him, but I'm just like,
No,
he's a big character, innit? I'm
He's
just like,
he got no hate. We spoke to the guy that owns Players. I was very good friends with him to come on board, and he was on board with us. So we started setting the company up, and then he pulled out. So he didn't want to do it, but we'd already got everything active. So he asked me to leave that day. I'd been there for 6 years, and then he asked me to leave. There's no hatred towards anybody from our side of stuff, but we got
that
blocked.
give you some ambition to go out there and make it happen, though.
We got blocked by everybody.
Did you?
Yeah, nobody talks to us hardly anymore. We only set out to do small numbers. We went from working in a garage with 4 of us to now we've got 9. We've got an office in Wakefield. We've got drivers. We've got people in London. We've got people working over at UK for us. And it's just growing and growing and growing.
I ain't never trust a gap that I couldn't shoot. I learned not to trust a bitch from the prostitutes. Taught lessons. A young nigga.
Just getting some heavy sparring and seeing where I'm at. I'm not training properly in about 2 or 3 months now, just done a few little bits. You gave me a bit of a wake-up call yesterday saying that I need to be ready if I do get that call up. Made me realise I ended up going on a long run last night and now I'm back in sparring.
Other motherfuckers try to figure out. No doubt, they jealous of the niggas cloud. Tell me, oh, can you feel me? I keep my finger on the trigger cause some nigga trying to kill me. And mama raised the hell raiser. Every day getting paid police, I'm a pager. Straight stressing, a fugitive, my occupation is under question. Wanted for investigation. And even though I'm off for death, I'ma smoke till I lose my breath. Motherfuckers, every time I see the paper, I see my picture. When the niggas getting richer, they come to get you. It's like a motherfucking trap. And they wonder why it's hard being black. Dear Lord.
I've been to Misfits this Saturday, went with Warren. Got to sort of see the production value, which I think were massive. Obviously, entertainment-wise, it's there. They're trying their best to use the sport of boxing to, leverage a little bit of pull and whatever they're doing there. It seems to be working. What's your idea with it? Obviously, we went there with a little bit of fun, a little bit of jest, made a bit of a vlog/reel for, potentially calling people out. I feel that's where the money probably is, and there's some entertaining matchups there. What's your idea with it? Like, I know we joke about it and we're calling people out and making funny sketches, but what do you envision with it? What do you want to get done there?
Yeah, like we had a good time. We joked about and had a little bit of a laugh, didn't we, at some fighters, which it's all fun and games. It's all part of the aim. The aim for me is to try and get a match up on that show and get a good fight against somebody. Obviously, it's all fun and games and it's all good and well fighting on, BKB, there's BKFC, other shows, and obviously I've done Gloved, K1 and all that sort of stuff, which is fun. It's just that money-wise, practicality, the amount of time that you've got to put into those sort of training camps like the BKB, it was like 10 weeks and it was flat out constantly. I'm not saying I'd have to train less for the Misfits event, but I feel like I'm way more prepared on a shorter notice to do that sort of thing, and the reward is way bigger than what any of the other shows are. So for me, like I said at Christmas time, I'm knocking fighting on the head. I had no interest in it whatsoever, to be honest. I don't mind training and stuff like that. Like, I'm 30 years old. I've been doing it since I was 17. But now that something like this has popped up, something that can actually be beneficial for the brand as well, and it's involved in what I want to be doing, which is obviously creating content, social media and all that sort of stuff. So in an ideal world, it'd be good to shut one of these mouthy fighters up like Swarms, or I'm not going to say KSI right now because he's on a different page to me at the moment. But
yeah, there seem to be a few. Obviously, I've got into that world there not really knowing who's who. There's obviously a few faces there that I recognise, but there seem to be a few matchups, didn't there? There seem to be people who, various weights, various levels of influence. Which one were the... What about that Pereira? We've got it here on this thing. What we got
Pineda.
there?
Pineda.
Yeah, so he's the one who did the tag team boxing, which were very entertaining.
Super entertaining.
I got massively invested
Not
in
my
that.
favourite
That was
fight,
probably my
actually,
favourite
the full
fight of the
night.
night. We didn't watch all the end card, so I don't know. Yeah. There seems to be a guy who seems to can box. Is it?
What are those for?
No, there were a white lad right at the end who looks like he can box.
Is
it
Swigler
or something like that? Or...
Jay Swindler or something like that?
He seems to look all right.
Yeah, we didn't
But
actually stay for his show.
I think I'm gonna guess that there's ones who are sort of entertainment based, and then as the card progressed, there seemed to be, the skill level seemed to increase a little bit each time.
Yeah, it did. But that Jay Swindler is like a big YouTube content creator. Like, I don't think he's come from a professional boxing background. I think he's just worked his way up and he's just took to it way better than some of the other boxers are. Whereas that Pineda, I think in Mexico, he was a professional. And he came on, like, for someone to come over from Mexico, probably getting paid peanuts over there, came over here, fought KSI the first time, didn't make a show of himself, but he got taught a bit of a lesson by KSI. Don't get me wrong, KSI kept throwing rabbit punches to the back of his head, and every time he went down, and he was like to the ref, like, rabbit, like, come on. And the ref just wasn't having none of it, so he didn't really get a fair fight with the KSI fight. But KSI gave him another opportunity to fight that B. Dave, and he came in and looked like a totally different fighter. And then that B. Dave and him have come together to do the tag team, and they put a good show on. But yeah, that Pineda's like, I think in his eyes, he's over here, he's doing a influencer boxing show, Misfits obviously, but in his eyes, he's a professional boxer, just taking it as serious as he can. And I'm guessing that Jay Swindler, or whatever his name is, I'm guessing he's kind of influencer wanting to be a pro boxer. And
I wonder
fighting
who
at a
the
good level.
person is who's pulling the strings almost, who had the idea like, fuck it, let's do a tag team boxing match. Because as I was watching that, it's like me as a competitor and someone who's got a keen eye for stuff like that, you could easily see the flaws in that, because in a fight, I'm going to guess, or in competition, you can speak on this more than me. How hard is it to, when you've decided to almost tag out or bail in the round for whatever reason, whether it's because someone's getting better or you're tired or whatever it might be, you think your teammate can do a better job. You've switched off, haven't you? And to me, you can speak on this. I'm going to guess that boxing, more than any other sport, or fighting in general, you have to remain switched on. So to have it in the back of your head that I've got the ability to tag my mate in here if things get a little bit tough or things get a little bit hard. What's that about?
Well, watching that fight, I noticed, like obviously we just said Pineda then being a professional, that he switched off and he tagged B. Dave in when he saw an opportunity. So he might have done a minute, bust this guy up a bit, seen him backing off, and then he thought, right, now it's the time to switch. He's seen him do it, thought now's the time, whereas the other two guys that he were fighting looked real amateur, and they just did it when they were taking a beating, so they're covering up and taking too many shots, and then did it as a bailout, which if you put any fighter in the ring, that's not how they do
so
it.
there's like a little bit, what I was seeing there, we had a discussion, is there's a little bit of grey area there, because they were letting shots go after the tagged almost.
Yeah,
so
I think
it's like you had a bit of maybe a free couple of shots, which
with
someone like you, you can't be giving you a free shot, so
No.
I'm just like, how does that pan out if you were doing
I think if you did one of those tag team fights with 4 actual boxers, I feel like you'd see a bit more
tactics, a bit more
you
strategy.
see way more, you see way more strategy to when they actually do the tagging out, and I think it'd be more of a mutual thing. If they come in and they both land a shot, or one lands a shot and backs off the tag, and he probably thinks, I'm going to let him fight now, it's going to be entertaining, I'm not going to go in for kill whilst he's doing it. But or on the other hand, you could see them backing off to do it and think, I'm coming in for a quick shot when you turn to tag him then. Try and get an headshot KO, but that Pineda kept throwing body shot, didn't he? Just sink it last one in. He was getting a bollocking every time from ref, but he was taking full advantage of it. But if you put 4 professional boxing, I don't think it'd
suppose
work
there,
as well.
like you're right, if Pineda would have put him down or knocked him out, there might have been
He'd
a
have
bit
probably got a warning for that,
yeah,
I
but
reckon.
what a good finish that was with the guy with the mullet.
Mate, I was
Mullet
very
envy.
shocked at him. What does he call himself?
I don't know.
Fucking...
The general or something.
No, he calls himself something like the fucking...
The enforcer.
The enforcer, mate. B. Dave the enforcer.
That's a massive prompt to yourself there. You've called yourself the enforcer.
But he backed it up, though, in that,
He did,
in that
mate.
little finish.
Yeah.
I think that'll probably
I'm
win
not
it.
too sure of how high level this competition was like, but there was
No.
because this is what's so funny about that show. There were I think you might have gone to the toilet at the time, but as he was getting announced out, it were like they were saying he's never boxed and he's got 8 hours. He's had 8 hours practice.
Which one was this?
Like one of the other the tag team guys that he were facing. It's like it showed, but I don't know if it's just all a little bit of jest and a bit of fun, because as I assess everything as I'm walking around, obviously I've been to a fair few boxing events, I've been to bare knuckle events. The audience is very much invested in the influence and very much invested in the box. It's almost like they know all these people. We drove down to Telford, met Warren, and you could just see from the audiences waiting outside to see the fighters. There seems to be a lot more cameras and people making content. So for me, for what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to do in business, it's the right move. We've just got to probably keep keep niggling away, and fingers crossed to fight pens as the podcast grows and the stuff that you're doing growing. It, if you're putting enough content out there and you're making enough noise, I think we said it yesterday. Sooner or later, someone has to
Someone's
buy.
got to buy it.
Someone has to buy.
The only doubt I do have is like, and like you said yesterday, if people go onto my profile, let's say if I call somebody out and let's say Swarms or Salt Pappy does think like, who's this guy? I'm going to check him out. And they see some of my highlights or my pad stuff on there. They see a BKB profile photo. It's going to be a little bit off-putting.
Yeah.
But there must be somebody, or there must be one way for me to be able to like embarrass one of the influencer boxers so much, like Swarms or someone, that they must just be like, or someone around them must say, nah, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just fight him. Let's just do it. And like you said, I've got to just be ready for in case that does happen. They might
That's
try
what
and put it forward.
We said
on short
yesterday,
notice.
didn't we? Obviously, we won't speak too much gameplay in terms of what we're doing, but on podcast we can. That I said to you, as long as we just get sort of fit and ready now, that when it does arrive, because for me, if I would guess these people have got good advisors around them.
Yeah.
I don't think they're taking stuff.
I think most of them have got teams.
Yeah, I don't
looks of
think they take it lightly. So for me, it would be like, right, if we are going to shut this kid up, let's try and get him when he's potentially unprepared. Like they'll give you a date, maybe 4 weeks. So to me, the ability there to be prepared and be ready is massive, because it's a big platform, isn't it? And I know you've fought on big shows before, but you're quite an intense environment there, wasn't it? And obviously there's a bit of pantomime there with booing and all shit like that. So you're playing into that, because some of these people, I'm new to all this world, so I don't even know who these people are. There were heroes and villains there, weren't there? Like people love them.
What you've got to think is as well, like, what was his name? Ginty, you silly boy on TikTok.
Yeah.
So what this kid's famous for is, I don't know, I haven't watched any of his videos, but I'm presuming it's like sitting at home and filming videos, or going out in public and doing like one-on-one conversations with people, or doing something along them lines. When you get on a stage like that in front of a big crowd, it's going to affect you massively. Yeah. Whereas I've been in that environment before, so I'm kind of used to it. And like you said, yeah, they were like, we were questioning if we were going to get cameras in. We were like, are they going to let us take cameras in? I don't know if it's... But
we just walked in like we owned it, didn't we? We ended up getting escorted through as well.
Yeah, we did. But what you've got to think is, whoever's made this promotion, whoever's idea it actually is probably like, let all the influencers do what the fuck they want. It's free promo. It's like the Andrew Tate thing where he's saying, use all my stuff from Hustlers University.
That's almost like a detriment. You see some of these events I've been to, it's just like super regulated, but they're missing the promo element then, isn't it? It's like everybody sees it and everyone just latches onto it. To me, I just think, I can't remember I should have really researched this. I'm sure it's Saunders or whoever the promoter was. They must be seeing the pound signs, and that must just be, to me, the reason why they're doing it, because they're getting to extract a new audience into boxing. And eventually these younger kids will be pay-per-view buyers. I was shocked. I was watching maybe an illegal stream, I'll go like that, but the pay-per-view price in the States is so much higher.
Is it?
It's like $120.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so the John Jones fight there was like $120 straight. Like,
and what do we pay here? Like 25?
25. So, it must be a big thing over there. So like when I did the maths in my head, it's like when they're saying, like it will projected the John Jones fight to do 1 million pay-per-views, that's a lot of money, that's a lot of money generated. And obviously those pay-per-view stars in the UFC, that's when they start making the proper money, when they get a pay-per-view cut. So it's just, the original point being though, that I think these businessmen, especially we said with Dana White and the Nelt boys and all stuff like this, the seeing that, right, these boys have got an audience, they're clearly doing something right. I've got the ability to partner with these in some way and extract some of their audience, because they'll eventually be pay-per-view buyers. It's all business for Dana, to me. He wants to win.
Yeah. And it's just like all British Boxing Association over here are doing a similar thing with KSI and all his boys out there, what Dana's doing with the Nelt boys. It makes sense, really, to bring all that young crowd in. There's probably not many young boxers that follow it now. They're all into just like watching fucking TikToks and people do funny dances and that sort of shit.
Just going to double check that he's still even coming. Anyway, mate, but the question I want to ask, you've walked away from employment officially. We've taken the leap on this studio, and you got a bit of an office space this side. We don't want to show it off just yet, because it's still we've made some positive inroads, but it's not finished yet. How have you found it Structure-wise, have you been nervous? Is it the right decision? What's going on in your head?
So this is my second week. The first week, I'm not going to lie, Monday morning, we're a bit weird waking up. It kind of felt like I was on holiday still, still in a little bit of holiday mode. Just getting used. To be honest, I took a bit of an advantage of the Lions last week, but still we're in here every day and doing like 8 to 10 hours a day. So it's been quite a positive move. But yeah, I'm not looking back now whatsoever. Like I made sure in my mind for a couple of months that it was the right decision way before I chose to put my notice in. Like in my head, I was saying to myself, let's say from September last year, my OnlyFans jumped to 10K. I was thinking to myself, I'll do this constantly for a year. And if I do that for a year consistently, then I'll put my notice in. And then I just thought to myself, like, why bother wasting my time or wasting a year, doing a job I don't like and, playing about trying to get these figures when I can just, if I'm making that much money now whilst I'm fully employed doing 40 hours a week, imagine what I'm going to make when I'm not employed. And then let's say if I can double it, and then imagine all the extra time I've got to actually work on what I want to do, which is podcasts, obviously the agency and stuff like that. So it's just motivated me massively, and I can't promote enough for people to get out of that comfortable job that you're in and that comfortable lifestyle that you're happy with, just sitting at home watching films and doing your 8 hours a day. Put your mind to something that you actually want to do and do it.
Yeah, dig into this though. So the important message there is, I think that as a concept is absolutely sound, but try and piece it together there. So obviously you've been working on the side project for a long time.
Yeah.
So the biggest obstacle for many is, right, they probably know they want to get out of employment, whether they don't like the job or whatever it might be, they're pretty much set at what they can earn. When did you have the intention to be like, I think you've always been doing something on the side.
Yeah.
But when did you begin to think, right, I need to get this to a certain level so I don't have to work every day? Like, how long did that take? Because I think the message for many is a lot of people who listen to you and watch will probably be motivated by, like, fuck me, he's actually left a safe income, he's walked away from it and he's gone in on his sort of his ambition and his dream. How much energy were you putting into it? And can it be done for the like, for someone else who out there who might be working a 9 to 5 as a bit of a family? Can it be done?
So I'm going to tell you honestly, and I wouldn't want people to follow this same path because it took me way longer than it should have done and could have done. But so I left the military in 2016. So obviously 8 years. And I know people say you don't realize what you want to do till you're 30, and it's true. Like I didn't, but I played with. I left the military basically because I had a side hustle, which then it was the YouTube, it was the bathmate stuff. I'd not actually discovered the OnlyFans stuff, and I thought, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna do the bathmate stuff, and I'll find out what I'm gonna do. Then I panicked myself and I thought, no, that's the wrong way to do it. I need to have a full-time job. Everyone else around me's got a full-time job. That's the normal way to live. That's what everyone gets told they should be doing. Yeah. And it feels weird not doing that. So I ended up going back into construction, into scaffolding, and then I discovered OnlyFans, which at the time I didn't have it in my head that I could use this to get out of the matrix and actually make something of myself and do something. I just used it as a side hustle and kept it quiet. Then I changed jobs, and it were a good job. It was a building site manager. Like a lot of people around here would be absolutely buzzing with that. But again, I'm still working for somebody, and then it just clicked like 6 months ago. Like, why am I chipping away at this side hustle, making pretty much even what I'm making as my job? So I'm happy. I'm getting 2 incomes, but why do that when I know I can make way much more money than this and actually live a decent life? I'm 30 years old now. I've worked loads of different jobs. I've had mortgages. I've done stuff like, it's just not the way to live. And I just realised that if I can put my mind to this side hustle that can potentially make me way more money than my normal job, even if it made me the same amount of money, if it were making me $3,000 a month, I wish I'd have still just thought, see your job. This is my safety haven, and now I've got all the time in the world to actually put time and effort into a business or some way making more money. And
how is the pressure that you're 100% dependent on yourself now? Is that hard? Do you think about that a fair bit? Or?
To be honest, I don't really let it bother me. Like, I've got a mortgage, but what I did was, back to the question that you asked just before, what I did was when I first started making the decent money, when I started promoting it and went public with it, I've banked it, so I've secured myself. Like, I have saved up a decent amount of money so that if all else failed for at least a year, I'd survive for that year without an income, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I built myself a safety haven. But I didn't need to. This is what I'm saying. I didn't need those 10 years. I could have probably hit it hard for 6 months and worked on it like I have been doing now, putting the time and effort in and opening different avenues and just prioritising what's bringing me most money like we're doing now. And yeah, that were it. So if I were going to recommend it to somebody, I'd say get your side hustle, get it up to at least even to what you're making on your normal job, and then just sack it off and put 100% into it.
I think the message there is show that you can consistently keep the income coming in.
Yeah.
If you can see that there's consistent income coming in each month that's matching or surpassing what you're already making in your job, if you back yourself and you believe, right, if I go all in on this now, like you've just said then, that I can double, 10x, 100x the side hustle, because for what you're doing, I've said this to you, it's forever scalable. And as the internet grows and people are becoming, everyone's on social media now and everyone is on the internet in some way, then the scalability is massive. And it's not just for what you do. To me, it's not just locally or nationwide, it's globally as well. So you've just got 7 billion people on the planet, mate. You've got to be able to extract at least a little bit of coin out of some people for offering a service or whatever they're doing.
You know what's crazy? When I was in the Navy still, and I first started doing social media, and obviously I'd done the X Factor stuff, I'd done a little bit of TV, I'd done Bath May, which got 20 million views on YouTube and stuff, and I used to go down to the submarine that I worked on, and all the bitter older engineers and stuff would be like, yeah, but likes don't pay the bills, and they used to say that all the time to me, and then I ended up believing it, thinking, fuck me, maybe they're right, like social media doesn't pay the bills. And then
likes don't, but if you're offering a service, it does.
That's what I mean. They just put it a silly way, which actually ended up getting in my head. But if I could have just thought about it then and been like, no, it doesn't. But if I get 1 million likes on something, I guarantee you I can make a lot of money off having 1 million likes on a post and having that pull.
I've never really asked you this. I know you've talked about it a little bit. Dig into, so you're talking about people passing a little bit of passive-aggressive comments onto you there, like likes and money and all shit like that. Talk me through, how were your parents in terms of a positive reinforcement? Did they understand what you were doing, why you were doing it? Did they understand the magnitude of the sort of the money you're making from it? Did they get any of that? Do you speak openly to them?
Kinda.
And a second bit to that question: are your friends on board with it, or do you sort of keep it just separate?
Yeah, so I'll go on the family first. So it was a weird one with the military because I was on a waiting list for like 2 years from being 17 up to 19. So I think my parents were like super proud of me. And when I said I was leaving after 4.5 years because I had other things to do, they didn't realise how being in the military was making me feel. It wasn't good for my mental health and being down there. So when I left, they were a bit like, "Oh, Ellis, like, what are you gonna do now?" And I was like, "No, I'm figuring it out. Don't worry, I'll make something myself. Like, I'm fine." Then they had faith in me. And they're like, "All right, that's fine." And then I was pushing stuff and social media and YouTube and all that. Then I went and did a season in Ibiza. Then when I come back, it died off a bit, and I got a bit disappointed in myself. I felt like they probably thought, like, "Well, what are you doing now?" Then I went into a normal job. I went into barbering, scaffolding. So they're probably just like, "Oh, like, fair enough. He's had a life change. It's not really worked out." And then I was open with them as soon as I got asked about the OnlyFans thing. I was open with both of them before I even started. I said, "Listen, I'm going to be doing this thing. I'm naked on YouTube already, and you know what I mean. So just let me do my own thing." And they were quite cool with it, to be honest. So like, that's fair enough. Just like, I don't want to hear about it, and I'm like, fine, that's cool.
Were there a party that were going to keep it secret from your family, or did you just always want to be open?
No, not really. I always wanted to be open with it. Just it's the fear of something ever. Obviously, my mum works at a school. My dad's just one of them old school men that like, he wouldn't probably know how to take it if somebody joked about something like that with him. So I just thought, I'm not going to keep it quiet and something pop up on social media and then...
Well, i.e., your dad's in pub and someone says, "Oh, have you seen your Ellis?" And he's just... What, would he react aggressively like that? Or would he just be a bit fucking more embarrassed or more just stressed out with it not
I don't
knowing?
think it's like, if you're in pub, I think you're probably right, he probably would chin somebody. But like, let's say if one of the boys are joking about it around him and he's like, "Well, what are you on about there?" And like, "Oh, Ellis..."
Yeah, they just fucking shows them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, so I just thought...
So you've sort of predetermined, fuck, this could happen where someone shows me dad's.
Yeah, that's it. And then same with friends, really. Like when I take to them, the thing is, like, now that my friends have realised the lifestyle it's given me, the support, some of them are interested in joining. So most of them are like, "Oh, I'd love to do that," but I'm like, "I'm not in shape." I'm like, "Get in shape, start it now, and then get in shape and let them see your journey." Or they're like, "Oh yeah, but I ain't got time." I'm like, "Just do 4 hours on a night when you've got time." Like, there's no excuse to not be doing it.
I think the thing for people like that is they don't see an instant win. So like, they post one video and it might get, you know how it is. Me and you have got like high aspirations for what we want to do, and obviously we always want to push the boundaries, but we might spend fucking 2, 3, 4 days on a video and get 1,000 views. But you obviously have to keep pushing, you have to keep growing. I think most people seriously misunderstand the work that goes in. So on the back end, you're going to recoup a bit of that. So it's the hardest part there, isn't it?
I've been in and out of that cycle a couple of times, to be honest, and I've even done it this time, like since I've quit my job with the OnlyFans stuff. Let's say if I have like last week we're a bit quiet because obviously we were setting all this up, and I'm thinking, what if it just actually died off and everyone just thought I ain't interested in this guy anymore? And
but that's my fear with you, and it's not a fear, is that I've done this many times and left a lot of money on the table, that when it's almost shiny object syndrome, I call it, and I keep saying to you, like, make the mate. Is it here? It's showing up on there. It's showing up on there. We're all right, mate.
I apologise because I actually saw you down there. I saw you walking across from the bar area down towards the thing.
Make sure this bad boy's close.
Yeah, just get comfy, get squatted right up to him.
What did back for my voice, mate? No, I didn't see you. I just saw video. But like, I want drinking.
Swing it round a little bit closer. Just
yo.
about a fist.
Can you hear it better now?
Yeah, there we go.
That better, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we went to the last one, so we always get free tickets.
Nice. I saw you backstage a little bit.
Yeah, I'm England, mate, with Andrea and stuff. And the guy was the guy he was with, the smartly dressed guy.
Warren.
What's he to do with Andrea?
He's, I think he's just a good friend of hers.
Is he? Because we saw him backstage after the fight, and we were stood talking to her. And well, other than the fact it were fixed, I don't know what you guys thought.
Do you think?
So we were talking to Astrid backstage.
Yeah.
Face were fucked.
It was fucked. Like, I'm not gonna lie there.
The face were fucked. So this is Liam.
How do Liam?
This is our other lad.
I wish we had a mic for you, mate. We haven't got one.
Sit in here if you want and just have a chip in whenever you want.
Other than she walked onto a jab, but Andrea's face, it just wasn't touched.
Yeah.
She had a mark on her ear and a little lump of eye, and then we were talking to Astrid. She was just, her face was battered, mate.
Yeah, I've seen Astrid posting a lot of stuff. Her face is absolutely fucked. I'm not going to lie. And AJ did land way heavier shots.
You could tell it were very, I'll say, amateurish in the fight itself. But all she kept throwing was say, but she walked onto jabs. We were telling her backstage.
Well, I think Astrid.
She let better shots go, but I didn't think.
Astrid's well known for just having a tight jab and just throwing that 1-2, and that's all she did.
Andrea walked onto it.
She did.
Andrea just kept walking onto the jab. There were no head movement and nothing.
And the issue that AJ had was and I said it to you a couple of times, she just kept circling it towards the backhand. Yeah. It kept getting caught every time.
See, when she kept running away as well, so she'd duck out and then she'd turn her back and she'd kind of run to the other side.
And I think that's how people score it as well. If you're on the back foot and you're running away, like, don't get me wrong, it were a very, very close fight. I'd have to rewatch it to actually to score it. I was too entertained.
What did you think to the tag team boxing?
I thought, oh, fuck it. Mate, listen, so I'm like a WWE fan, right? I've been WrestleMania 3 times. I love gimmicky shit like that. I thought it were good, and I got told it were different rules, but then same to tag in and stuff.
Yeah, we were saying though, with the tagging there was a little bit of a grey area where you could sort of get some shots away when they were tagging. It
was in the corner when he got stopped.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if you go back to like WWE, just tag your guy in as he's getting battered and jump in the ring.
But we were saying, like, the issue with that is when you turn to tag, the other guy's got a free shot on you.
Yeah.
And we were saying the best way to do it is if you're in the middle and you catch someone and then you've had a minute and you're a bit tired, then go back and tag. And
we got told when you wanted to tag, you had to tell the ref and you took a step back.
All right.
That's what we got told.
Maybe that was the rules, but when you're in the fight, it's a bit hard to even think about that shit.
I met B Dave at Wembley. So we stopped in the Hilton next door to Wembley Arena, and the after party was in there. So we saw a lot of them. It was the other one that fought last time. It was the one that we saw. I can't remember. No, the blonde girl.
Ellie Brooke.
Yeah, she fought last time at Wembley. And we were at after party. So we met B Dave and everybody, and the guy from America that does the podcast and the boxing, guy with the funny hair and a ponytail, Overflow. Something.
All right.
Overflow on Instagram. We met all them last time. So we got to know all them from just like networking.
So we've got to stop. So I'm Prestige Specialist. Talk me through, from a fellow businessman, talk me through the game plan when you go into these events. What are you trying to...
Just to network, mate. Right. Just to network. So we have a deal with Bad Boy Chiller Crew. So Gareth, who works with us, he posts a lot of our stuff. That was done through Liam and Liam's connections.
Nice.
And he has a car for us, so he drives.
Who was the kid who were dancing on the Instagram? Nice.
That's
that was some skills.
So that was the VIP bit.
Mate,
so
we
got invited back to the VIP at Pussycats.
How was that?
We just setting the scene, just getting stuck.
No, we were leaving.
I'm a massive Kanye fan. I started playing Kanye and Jay-Z tunes, so I just thought, like, before I go, I'm going to have to dance to this, like, you know what I mean? So,
It literally, when we were walking out, we were just going to leave. And then that came on. And I turned around, he'd run off.
We got the option to go, but we
left like 2 fights early.
yeah, I wish we would have probably gone to the after party with a good networking.
It was all right. We left about 1:30. But Ash, Luke, who's one of our customers, so we've got a deal with Luke Groves, LG Boxing down in London. He hooks us up with everything. So he got a car for us. He's been a customer of mine for a couple of years. And then we just did a deal. So we sponsored his gym. And then we sponsor Andrea and Ash from Raksu. So he sorted me out a backstage pass. We snuck Liam backstage as well. The security was so lax. So we snuck Liam
felt
backstage.
that, didn't we? As we walked in with cameras, like like they sort of ushered us through like we would.
It was so easy to get in.
To be honest, the crowd's way different to a normal boxing event. It's a lot of younger influencers and a lot
It
of like
is.
business
Did you see
people
Tommy
there,
Robinson
so-
there?
Yeah, we did. And yeah, we are dealing with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're just not posting it.
I had to say something to him because I'm like, or almost not in awe of him, but I'm just like,
No.
he's a big character in it. I'm
He's
just like,
he got
fucking
no hate. We saw nobody giving any
No.
crap.
Mate, they were
And
cracking punch bag as well, weren't they? They could fucking have a. I
They
bet
can
they could have
scrap
a
from
duel.
Tommy.
Yeah.
I know.
He's
I know.
a lot smaller than I thought.
Tiny, mate.
Way smaller than I thought.
He's tiny. He put his arm. He goes, "Oh, you're a big lad, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Oh, mate, it's just you're small." But he's talk. I've got all the voice notes on there.
Respect,
So
mate.
he
Nice.
fucked off abroad.
So you're not missing any opportunities when they're getting.
No, it was good. I mean, he stuck it on Facebook. I just thought I'd leave it back a little bit. I just didn't want to upset customers, kind of thing. But he got a lot of love while we were down there. Everybody wanted pictures with him, and he was nice to talk to. Pleasant. He was talking about his clothing and stuff like that he does nowadays.
Oh, is he bringing a brand? He's got a brand.
He deals with fashion.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what he said to us. So we're going to get in touch with him to get some clothes for us, Med, with our logos.
He
and
must
stuff
be
on it.
intelligent, and obviously he gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes for maybe his political stance, but he must be mad intelligent. You think?
He was just a nice kid to talk to.
Yeah.
He had no agenda. He didn't try and brainwash you. He didn't try and go on a political rant. He was talking about boxing. He was there with his son.
He had
He
a
was
Stone
just
Island
like
on though, didn't he?
everybody
Yeah.
else was.
I think it's a lot to do with he's got a lot of pull as well from what he's done over the last 5 or 6 years. Following it's probably built up. He probably just has lots of opportunities popping up to him.
Probably.
That's when
Well, yeah, he approached us. He asked what we did from the first conversation. Then he came and found us as we were leaving, and then just give me his number. And then Sunday
nice.
morning, I woke up to a voice note from him, and his missus has got a car. They're sending it back. Wants to get something off us. And then we just said, look, when you come back to UK, when you land, let us know. Because we have a service where we've got a couple of Range Rovers. And if you like a blue tick or anything like that, we'll pick you up from the airport, take you to events and stuff like that. So the Ash and everybody that went to the fight, they've got my Range Rover. So they use it, don't come back till Thursday.
Was Ash fighting on it?
Ash, yeah, he won, didn't he? Yeah, he
For
won.
that King Kenny.
Yeah, but again, the reason why I think there's so much like thing with boxing about being fixed, it looked like he won every single round, but yet somebody called the fight to King Kenny.
Yeah.
I don't
Were
trust
those the
boxing.
two black gents who were fighting?
Both rigged up.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ash had about 1% body fat. It's ridiculous. And he
Yeah,
took his
they
top
were
off
both
and
in-
changed, went back to get ready. I walked out, mate. You know what I mean?
Which
They're
one-
both in very good shape.
Which one was the one who had the low jab? Is that your friend?
That was
Or
King
the-
Kenny. That was King
oh,
Kenny.
right,
The
that's
other
good.
guy won.
And he
that.
got
Yeah,
and he-
Ash was Southpaw.
Are they
Yeah.
rematching? Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, I think they are. Ash lost a fight, but it was to a pro MMA fighter, I think.
Ryan Taylor.
Are you big boxing fans in general, then mainstream boxing as
I
well?
am, yeah, but I kind of lost a little bit. I mean, Tyson Fury sparked it back up, but I like the whole YouTube thing. I like because it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't trust it. I don't trust boxing.
You think
It's
it's
so
all
open to
orchestrated
corruption,
and
and it just winds me up. And it goes back to Groves' frock when they stopped it, and I don't think Groves were in too much trouble. And it just irritates me.
Yeah.
And then
He got dealt with,
people
he got dealt
always
with.
take the piss because I was a wrestling fan, so they always took the mick out of me saying, "Oh, you know, it's not real, isn't you?" And I'm like, half the shit you see on TV is not real.
I say this to him, but he always pulls me up saying it's scripted. I thought the Jake Paul stuff were all pretty much.
Impossible, mate. Yeah, I can see why, and I totally agree. Like, it's so easy to fix a fight. I agree with that.
I
But,
don't think the fights are fixed. I think like the scoring is the judges.
oh yeah, the scoring, like,
Yeah.
but it's so like we watched the Jake Paul and Tommy Fury fight. You can see 100% that Tommy won the fight. Like, it's a no-brainer. But when
But you
people
could pay one judge off. One judge gave him the fight, didn't he? And he
Yeah, I
didn't
don't know.
win.
I don't know how he gave
And he
him the
didn't.
fight.
And
I
he
don't know
didn't.
how he
And he
gave
didn't
him.
win that fight. So like, what is? I'm not saying this. The boys who are fighting are saying right, go down at ninth, go down at eighth. But a judge has a big pull on the fight if it goes the distance.
But you can see if there's a robbery come off, can't you?
Yeah.
You can tell 100%.
Yeah.
Talk
Even
me through. Let's get into a little bit of business. So, has it always been called Prestige Specialist?
Prestige. So we've been active since October 28th when we registered. I've done this for 22 years.
Nice.
I worked Players Cars for 6 years. And then Liam worked Players Cars for 5-6 years. He lost a little bit of love. We didn't agree with some of the stuff.
Was Players Cars Danny Bond?
No, he wasn't Players Cars. He's now DB.
When you say you was at Players Cars, were you just working for the company?
Yeah, so
or?
we were franchisers, so we were self-employed. So we had our own business within the business,
Right.
and then Players Cars kind of like fund you, but you're responsible for your own deals. And I've done it for long. I went through the dealership, so I was a sales guy, a business manager, then a sales manager, then a general sales manager. And it's just, I thought I could do it better. There were bits that I think companies like, and I'm not going to discredit Players Cars, but they let themselves down on certain stuff. And
What, fulfillment, making sure customers are looked after right?
after sales, the way that some customers are treated, and they changed the game a little bit, the Players Cars, and how they did it with social media. And we just want to expand on that. So the original plan was, we spoke to the guy that owns Players. I was very good friends with him, to come on board, and he was on board with us. So we started setting the company up, and then he pulled out. So he didn't want to do it. But we'd already got everything active. So he asked me to leave that day. I'd been there for 6 years, and then he asked me to leave. There's no hatred towards anybody from our side of stuff, but we got
That gave
blocked.
you some ambition to go out there and make it happen, though.
We got blocked by everybody.
Did you?
Yeah, nobody talks to us hardly anymore. They're just like
Outcasts.
Yeah, our name's mud now with most of them, and a couple of their staff came and worked for us, and then we got blamed for that. So we're taking the mick. I was going to call him out for a boxing fight on your podcast. So,
Do it, mate. Now's your chance.
I was going to call him out. Have a little pay-per-view, and but no, we've got no hatred towards people, but we have found it's really two-faced when you go out on your own. There's a lot of people that are just after riding your coattails because we've grown so fast, so big. We only set out to do small numbers. We went from working in a garage with 4 of us to now we've got 9, and we've got an office in Wakefield. We've got drivers, we've got people in London, we've got people working over at UK for us, and it's just growing and growing and growing, especially with what we influencers.
Just doing like different things, like we've got the Top Gear challenge that we were doing. We've got a little, it was just a cheap racing simulator, but it was fun. We've got I think it's a Forza game with the actual Top Gear track on there, and it's simulator. So then we had a few people doing that. Who were Danny Addy.
Yeah, Danny Addy, local lad, and then Cruz Leeming from Leeds Rhinos. He works with us.
Set a lap time and whatnot. So yeah, we're just doing things obviously car related still. Do you know what I mean? So we're just thinking outside the box.
Have you still got that up and running, the sim?
Oh, we've upgraded it now. So
I'll
now,
have to bring...
now we've got a proper simulator rig.
I do some work with Janetta so,
Right.
And GT4s. I'll have to get some racing car drivers down to have a go on
Hey,
it.
bring them down because we're on it every day. us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're good, but
They're
we
good
are
connections,
pretty
these
shit
boys,
at
because they're from wealthy families as well, so they're like quite well known around here.
it. Yeah, well, you guys
I'll be
need to come
fucking
down.
useless, but I'll have a
I'd
go.
be useless as well. I'd somehow fucking crash like.
Cruz won, the Rhinos captain.
Yeah.
So he works for us. He's become his own franchise of us.
Oh, nice.
So just to earn money on the side. So when we were Players, there were a Wakey Trinity lad that used to do it. So Cruz came in. He's driving around in a blacked out E-Class that we've got.
Nice.
We give him, and he promotes us on social media. And again, we get free tickets for Rhinos and stuff like that one. But he wants to grow his own, kind of like portfolio and expand.
Yeah, so you're
just
giving
on
people an opportunity for a franchise there to go out and grow their
We
own
do it to
thing.
everybody. Anybody that wants to come on board.
And have you got all the
open to it.
systems and all the marketing stuff in place?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
How hard, I'm going to nerd out a little bit, but we'll keep away from business. How hard are you finding sourcing vehicles at the minute with all
Not
competition?
really.
Easy.
we've got access to tens of thousands of cars. I've been in this trade for 22 years. I've got a lot of dealership connections. One of the lads at work, Dave, he's done it for 20 years. We've got a lot of connections. Liam's got a lot of connections. We've got every auction site you can imagine. We've got access to everything. And we've got some good people that back us, really, haven't we? That I knew from dealership-wise that we've sort of partnered up with people.
Yeah.
And we kind of turn things around as quick as we possibly can. But it's all designed, it's in the name about it. We think we're specialist. It's not as in specialist cars like your Ferraris and stuff. It's specialist as in it's for your needs. So everything's specialised to what you want, the car that you want, the way that you want it, at the time scale that you want it. Everything's designed to give a customer experience. There's a thing where companies get too big, and then suddenly you go from being a name in that company to being a number in that company. We don't want that. So we don't want to go stupidly big with the company. We want to keep it relatively medium-sized, and obviously we're looking at the size of wrapping and customizations and stuff. The idea is eventually we've got a split side, so one side does the customization, a little bit like Yanamize, but not as big, and then on the other side of it, we've got
What
the
was
sales side.
the BMW, the black one that I like, with the, what is it, Venti? The black wrap.
Oh, the black Venti wrap.
That's
Is
the one where you can't see the black,
Yeah.
it's that dark.
Yeah.
Is it Venti?
I don't know if it's something like that.
Yeah.
What's some of the nice cars you've got in at the minute? We've got anything real luxury? What we got?
I've got 3 Range Rovers. So we've got I've literally just put private plates on his cars. So I've got Chris PSC. That's a big Range Rover Vogue V8. And then Stu, one of our business partners, he's got a blacked out Range Rover Vogue as well, V8.
What cars he give you?
You drive everything, don't you? To be fair, he has
You get a little bit of
he
flexibility,
has a little
flexibility with everything.
He's got a little dog Cochrane A class that we give him. But no, he takes whatever he wants when he wants. We're not prudes like that. We like if a sales guy that works for us is going away for the weekend.
No, I mean, what have you got for the buyers out there?
For the buyers,
yeah.
E400 AMG line Prem Plus, blacked out, big 20-inch rims on it, Pan America grille, pan roof, twin screens. That's a nice whip, is that? Range Rover Velar HSE with massaging front seats. Yeah. Just sold a Tesla Model 3 Performance, 490 horsepower. That was fully body kitted up. 0 to 16, 3 seconds dead. Yeah, Model X's, we've done a couple of big Model X's.
What do you think to them Teslas? Because I went in one for the first time the other day. Like, I've always wanted one. And then when I was in it, I was like, passenger, not driving.
Don't do it.
Sort of thinking. It just looks too... Like, the big screen's probably the best asset inside it, I would
No,
think.
the best asset is the performance. Right, so there's nothing this side of a 911 Turbo will touch it.
Yeah.
That's legit.
What's that speed, acceleration, everything?
Yeah, 3 seconds dead to 60. But your range is just not what you get.
Will that
told
get
by
better,
now.
though? Surely these
It's a
electric car
it's a dying
manufacturers...
market. It's
You
a dying-
think?
I think so, yeah. I personally think, it takes that much to mine lithium. They're digging half the world up and shipping it around. It's not really zero emissions. It's a gimmick. I just think it's just for the PlayStation generation of Teslas. I just think it's dying. And the fact is now, everybody's caught up to them. So performance-wise, Rimac are well ahead. And like
How are
Audi
Porsche
and
doing with it? They seem to have some nice electric
Porsche
motors.
go to Rimac for their technology now. So Tesla's kind of getting a bit left behind, and the build quality is not that great either. They tend to be...
What's the autopilot like? I never use that much.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's sick, innit?
That's pretty cool.
Like, imagine
I got-
going to Telford at weekend, we can just chill.
Yeah. We had the...
You have to keep your some hand on the wheel.
So if you cut this out the start, so I was going to Liverpool, and I was going to watch Champions League final in Liverpool. So we're driving through to the Hilton, and we're in a bit of a traffic jam at Manchester. So I just banged the autopilot on, and I was sat on Instagram while driving, and the car was stopping and starting and steering. Every now and again, you just got to touch wheel, and then you can let go of it.
Yeah.
And I turned around, and the police van was at the side of me, so I just threw my phone and grabbed the wheel instead. So then my miss at the side of me, she threw her phone. But no, it's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Everything's just a gimmick. It's nothing more on a Tesla that your Range Rover won't do.
If they'd have pulled you, you'd just been like, I won't even drive it, it's autopilot, mate. What are you on about? I'm a passenger.
But I don't know. They've got a long way to go to catch up with your mainstream cars for build quality. But the thing is, you've got likes of MG now that are doing like nearly 300-mile range on electric cars for half the price of a Tesla. But the market's dropped out of Teslas. The value fell out of them in December. So we had a car in stock and it was dropping at £1,000 a month on its value. So and then cost of living, it's not that cheap anymore to do an electric car.
No.
And it's just the inconvenience that you've got to go for a Tesla. You got to find a supercharger to do it quick. They're not everywhere. You've then got to wear a petrol station. You fill up 10 minutes, you fill up your car, you're off away again. You've got to go grab yourself a coffee and something to eat and sit there while it charges up. It is an inconvenience. When a world's moving faster, Tesla's just, it's not there. I just don't think it'll catch on. I don't think it'll catch on.
What is the rules with combustion, though? They're trying to eliminate diesels.
2030, they're going to stop selling combustion engine vehicles in the UK.
So what's going to be the alternative if it's not electric?
Hydrogen.
You think they'll figure that out?
Yeah, hydrogen. And I think that 2030 rule will get scrapped. I just don't think
it's probably nice to have in calendar, but they'll keep
sustainable.
edging
I just don't think electric cars are sustainable. It's not there yet. We're not there, I don't think.
You're not a conspiracy theorist, are you?
A
little bit there.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, when you get to
I hope he
YouTube
keeps
wormhole
mentioning
stuff.
these 15-minute cities to me and scaring me.
Don't get me started on COVID people.
All right.
I upset quite a few people with.
I always
COVID
like to watch
conspiracists.
your little memes you post on your Instagram. That always make me
Yeah,
laugh.
cars and memes. That's all I'm about, mate.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But I used to get banned on Facebook all the time, but I've curbed it now a little bit. It's because of the business.
Yeah.
Can't afford to get banned,
Yeah.
but I get straight 30-day bans now, and I seem to upset a lot of people when I post stuff. And there's a lot of people out there that think they're conspiracy theorists, and then they go out on a weekend and sesh. but they won't have a vaccine. But they'll sniff cement.
Oh, so you're pro-vaccine?
Have you had a vaccine?
I had 2 vaccines, mate, and I said none after that. My kids haven't had vaccines.
Yeah.
I believe that kids growing up, the same that we did when we were growing up. You've got to get these viruses to build up your immune system.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't jump on a bandwagon and stuff. It's just there's a lot.
You didn't change your profile pic and that to I've been vaccinated. That's a fucking that.
I didn't even clap for NHL.
Yeah.
No.
I went out there with
That's
Panther.
bang out of order, that, mate.
You know what I mean?
Every night I was there.
I used to look back. I'm like, what the fuck were I even thinking? I used to just be out there clapping with neighbours and stuff.
I got called out on it because I did it. I got called out. I did it a couple of times and stuff. And my kids were with me when it were like on certain weekends. And on Thursday night, I'd go out with kids and we'd give it all. And all neighbours are looking at you. And then when the kids weren't there, I was like asleep on Soho playing Call of Duty. So like, I'll be on Call of Duty with mates. And then I was in this WhatsApp group from my community that was in Sandal. And Chris, where are you coming out? So I ignored it. And then I put a message like an hour later, sorry, I was asleep. And one of them put back, well, we saw the takeaway being delivered. Fuck's sake.
Did you get involved in street parties after COVID that everyone started launching?
I didn't even isolate in COVID, mate.
Did you
to be
not?
honest.
I was working our way through.
Were you?
Yeah.
I started buying bikes off smackheads and stuff. Mountain bikes, and just washing them and putting them back on. So I furloughed.
Or just flipping stuff, just buying
flipping. I had to sell something. I'm a sales guy.
Yeah.
I had to sell something, so I started selling mountain bikes. Everybody went on that bike craze.
Because it was food were allowed. I launched Bennett's online business during COVID. That's when we took that to. He was just obviously working from 6 shops, and he built the Bennett's Butchers Club, and that were all during COVID. That started from 0 to all the way through. Probably took us about 18 months to get that off the ground.
I was flying to Doncaster and stuff for bike rides in woods and fields and canals and stuff.
There were a little bit of time when I enjoyed that little bit, because I probably took about 8 weeks just to
chill,
do nothing. And remember when they were telling you could go on sort of walk, like 1
hour
walk a
walk.
day? And
It was bliss, wasn't it? The weather. As
I
soon as we
love
locked
that.
down,
Yeah,
the weather
it
went
were a-
in.
it were a sun-
It was just like
Do you know what I was doing? I'm obsessed with like zombie films and that. I was walking down Fair Bennings at like 6, 7 in the morning, mate, when it was sunny, but it was just foggy as fuck, and there was nobody else walking, and I just had my headphones in. I was like walking as if I were in a zombie film, like in my own little movie, mate. I loved that for about 2 weeks. I was doing that. Went a bit west, but
Talk me through. You mentioned you boys are starting a podcast or doing a podcast.
Yeah. So the only reason I got in touch here was to we want to do a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we want to get it so we're not all about cars, but about cars. So we're going to do like little challenges and stuff. So we're going to get 2 little teams together with the office. Give them like $1,000 each, go buy a 2-seat convertible, give them challenges to do.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff's out there doing similar kind of things, and it kind of works. So we just need to get like a face of the company, because I've got a face for radio. And Liam's currently growing a mullet because he wants.
I'm growing one.
Oh yeah, well he wants to be in Bad Boy Chiller Crew.
let's have a look what you got.
Let's have a look what we
Shows
got.
So he started.
See,
Hey, it's
there.
not bad. It's there. It's a bit
It's
longer
there.
than yours.
It's there, mate.
And
Are you
unfortunately,
going to keep it? Sorry to interrupt. Are you going to keep it super short in front?
Yeah, I don't want it long on top, mate. No.
And
I
what
don't
sort-
back either, to be honest. Don't be too scruffy and curly and that.
Straighten it.
I actually seen someone in my in gym, mate, and he had a short mullet, and I thought, like, yeah, that looks me, so I went and copied it.
well, I'm going to grow a mullet, but if I grow one, I'll need my hard drive check. So I kind of have nothing in the middle, but my hair's really thick around the sides and the back. So I
Just get one of them little ponytails that like people just collect there and that bit.
Yeah, what was I watching? I was watching something now. I think it went BKFC, one of their fights.
What, a weekend?
A couple of months back, and there was a guy with a random like hair at the back, but a bald head, and I thought, yeah, I could pull that off,
I've seen a few of that in rugby as well.
Yeah.
Rugby boys do that.
But no, my hairstyle's just.
You know, you just touched on Bad Boy Chiller Crew then. Has one of them signed a deal with Misfits? Is it Gareth?
That's who we work with.
A wrestling thing?
Yeah, it's, what is it?
He does like WWE, but he does it in Liverpool. So I've been trying to get into him because I want to do it. I want to be a wrestler, mate. But I tore my ACL. I ruptured my ACL in like July last year.
Well,
I turned the operation down, so I've still got no ACL in this left knee. But I said, yeah, I want to do it. I want to be Stone Cold, me.
What would be your move? Like what stunner then? Frog splash?
Not
What
a
we
lot
doing?
next. I've got fuck all cardio, so I'd literally be Stone Cold, just walk in, flip everybody off, drink a beer, stunner somebody, and walk out.
I used
Chat
to,
a bit of shit on
I
life,
used to
that's
love
about it.
wrestling as a kid. Slogan Paul's doing it now.
Yeah,
isn't
do
he?
you watch Logan Paul?
I don't watch it like I used to do.
Yeah.
So last time I went to WrestleMania was San Francisco 2015. I just kind of just keep an eye on it on like Instagram, and they put shorts on and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've seen the Logan Paul. That guy's he's a talented guy, man.
Yeah, he's good.
He's latched onto a market.
Very
I think, with
athletic.
that.
He did a bit of a show last night. Did you see that? I just saw him put a clip on this
Yeah,
morning.
he did a punch on.
Mate, it looked like he actually knocks the guy out, you know.
The punch on
It's
Seth
probably
Rollins.
the most realist connection I've ever seen. The guy flicks his hair a bit, which is a bit over the top, but
Did you
I
not
was,
see
like,
the
slowing
not
it
see the
down.
ring side to ring side where they both body checked each other in midair?
When they jumped from...
Yeah,
I
literally.
seen it. He's an athlete.
Still
he's,
got a
he's
hair,
Logan
but
Paul,
yeah, he
mate.
is. He's an athlete. They both are. They're
Cool.
both. I love what they're doing because it's
Yeah.
brought an interest back to boxing. When
So
I
do you
think
like Jake Paul then?
they're just funny, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're funny.
I love him, mate.
Watching the Tommy Fury fight, mate. He reminds me of Wilder, but worse.
Who?
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
He just kept throwing that big bomb, hoping it would connect. But
And he tells it proper as well. I said that to you.
it comes from that far back. You could see it last week coming. So
I think maybe it's because it's worked on like 3 or 4 people. His team are just like, yep, that right hand every time. And it's just against someone who's a bit more alert.
Do you think the other fights were fixed?
No, I don't think any of them fights were fixed. I don't see how you can fix it. I know people say with
Tyron Woodley,
and he twists his hands a little bit, but I don't think you can fucking do that, to be honest.
Do you know?
I don't think you can.
I'd take a dive.
What if someone come to you and says, "I'll give you £5 million, 9th round. I'm gonna cork my hand a little bit. I just want you to just make it look real, take a shot."
It's then how the fuck do they keep it quiet after? Like, surely Tyron Woodley's going to say to one of his boys, like, "No, I took a dive."
Who was the guy that he
They'd
fought?
have
Who was the guy that he fought from UFC ages ago that just got
Ben
bombed out?
Ben
Askren, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even train for the fight, man.
No, he didn't. But
He was never
it's
a
not.
striker,
It's not
though. He was
fixed.
never
So
a
I think he
striker,
probably
though.
knew he wasn't going to. He probably knew he wasn't going to win, but just thought, "I'll just give it me all, and if I get beat, fuck it, I'm getting £2 million or whatever." Probably didn't realise they were going to get knocked stiff. Probably just.
Mate, listen, for £2 million, mate, you can punch me in the face
Yeah.
as hard as you want, mate.
Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
I'll make it look realistic. I'll roll around and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So go back to that YouTube channel. So what's the idea with obviously based around cars, but
Yeah, little challenges and gimmicks and stuff,
Yeah.
and get people involved in the cars afterwards, because we want to go do sort of like cheap cars and little challenges. We want to raffle them off, or give them to people in need and stuff. We ran a raffle before Christmas for cost of living, so we gave a holiday away with Ryan Heath and his motorhomes. So a couple won that. The people that won it didn't believe us. So I messaged him and I messaged her husband and I'm like, "You've won, can you get in touch with us?"
You've won, can you
So
give us your bank
the one-
details?
you get a lot of raffles though. Probably
Didn't believe us,
scammers.
no,
Probably
they didn't.
they're
And then we
scared.
redrew it, drew somebody else.
Well, they didn't actually. They said, "No, we don't want it. We don't believe you."
Yeah, no,
And
they didn't
didn't have
reply
it.
to us. And so we announced another winner. And as we announced it, she messaged back and said, "Oh, sorry, I thought it were a gimmick." I'm like, "Why did you like and share it then if it was a gimmick?"
What did you? But what did you say? Like too late, or
Yeah,
did
it's
you
too
buy
late.
it?
Yeah, too late. We'd announced with somebody else. They've booked it and it's all done and dusted now. They've got a free order this year that we paid for.
Saying that though, I did a £100 Nando's giveaway, and it blew up really. Everyone just wanted this £100 Nando's money, so there were accounts getting made of my thing, and people that had entered were messaging me saying, "Look, I've got a message from another account saying I've won, and to click this link and that, but we don't think it's you." 'Cause obviously, it didn't come from our account. Do you know what I mean? So even for the sake of £100, people are trying to
Scam people.
I think every little helps nowadays. I think everybody's after
I saw-
just anything.
There's a girl around here. I think is it Mazza or something like that. She must have got hold of some Prime at Asda before everyone else, and she was like doing a raffle of like 4 Easter eggs and 4 bottles of Prime, 5 a number, 200 numbers. She must be making some right money off that, mate.
We've got to create a Prime.
Have you?
Yeah, but we're not telling people yet.
What is it? The cans or is it the bottles?
Bottles.
Oh, you need to get the cans.
We were meant to be giving free ones away
Yeah,
at
we
weekend.
didn't wait till end. It said if we. It
Did
said
you
No,
not,
I-
did you
I
not
saw
go to it?
Oh,
I
no,
saw
did
him
you
giving
not
them
go?
out, but we would have seen rafters. He were
queue-
buying
the
tickets,
queue
so he
was
bought cheapest
ridiculous.
ones, I would have guessed.
Queue-
Gee,
ridiculous.
actually, they weren't the cheapest ones. The cheapest ones were £22. I paid £45. I
The
put it
queue
on
was
IOU
ridiculous at
list
Prime
as well.
afterwards. We were waiting for a taxi and everything, and we went backstage and got 2 bottles, and then walked back, and everybody just watched us walk off with 2 bottles of Prime.
Do you know when the next Misfits?
So Tennessee's the next one, and then May. Back
over
at,
here?
Yeah, back at O2 Arena, which we're going.
We're trying to get him a fight. Can you not pull some
Yeah,
strings?
no, I've got. Well, you know, Ry Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've tried getting him in to it, and then he spoke to Luke down south, and that's why he changed all his Instagram to Ryan Robinson Boxing. And Luke just said, "Get your social media up. Get your social media up." But I think best thing you could do is when you turn up, just call somebody out.
Well,
I've been doing that.
we've been doing that.
Call
Yeah.
Salt Pappy
That's the
out.
only reason we went on
Call-
Saturday.
We were sat next to Salt Papilles.
Well,
Is
yeah.
he,
was sat
is
next
he
to him,
big?
yeah.
Is he big or is he?
No,
but,
he's-
he's not
he's-
athletic either, but he has got a
He-
little
he
bit
has-
of boxing
he's a good
talent. But
boxer.
Pacquiao's got in touch with him apparently.
Well, he's over in
Really?
the Philippines now.
Yeah, well,
I've been
Pacquiao's
following
in
him.
touch. Pacquiao's in touch with him. Wants him to go pro. Something that's what we were getting told.
I got a picture of him on Saturday. I was in a cinema and I thought, they all had great
Yeah, they all that-
ideas.
yeah.
I was in a cinema and I thought, that's that fucking kid on Instagram, isn't it? And then I thought, no, it's not. And then I got him up and it was like Misfits Boxing, he's already had a fight and that. I thought, yeah, it's him, so I called him. I'm like, can I have a picture of him? He's like, yeah.
He were good. He were good in his last fight, to be fair, at Wembley.
He keeps knocking people out, doesn't he?
But he just
think-
don't look like he's got any athletic ability. But
No.
seems to have a little bit of boxing.
Was he the
talent.
one that used to just street fight and they'd film it?
No.
Sure.
You're thinking of Kimbo
Oh
Slice?
no, sorry, wait.
No.
He did used to do
Pappy
boxing
used to
in
just do like
tennis
a little-
courts.
Yeah, he used to
Yeah,
just go-
no, he did.
And he always had a good strong backhand.
Yeah.
Like, people just lure it in. He just
kept
like, because
walking
he looks
into it.
unathletic, bang.
Did you see that Tempo Arts versus Godson, the first fight? 2 big guys.
No, we got there. So the queue outside to get in, and I had to go on the back.
Yeah, we
My
went round
pass.
back as well, didn't we?
So
We
I
snuck
missed Pullet first 2.
Well,
And then we missed the last one as well, which apparently was supposed to be a really good fight.
were it?
That Swigler fight.
Yeah, I said that. He looks all right.
I missed it. That's how backstage.
Well, that Tempo Arts, the big chubby white guy, he's only 18 him. And he fought, the black guy we fought, he's a jeweler.
Yeah,
I went on both their Instagrams and the
He
black
dropped
guys.
him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did drop him, and then that black guy said
Dislocated
he dislocated his shoulder. But I went on that Tempo Arts Instagram to see where he'd come from and why he's got popular is he did a weight loss transformation and he were like 250 kilos or something like that, and he's cut down to what he is now. And he somehow got into boxing, and he were having proper backyard boxing matches with people and knocking people out, mate. That quite entertaining.
My idea with this, I'm going to pitch my idea to you now. I've got a couple of business people here. So
Businessman.
You know how people. My idea with fighting or boxers, whether it's bare knuckle, MMA gloves, whatever. Do you think you could create like? So if I get doing the shows, do you think you could create an audience and a business around like vlogging and filming and getting people to know the fighters, and they may be fighting every week and they can tune into it? Almost like a little bit like, not like Ultimate Fighter, but just if you could get some local lads who have got a bit of talent.
I think the Ultimate Fighter thing's good.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Misfits haven't jumped on something like that yet with making a show about what goes off behind the scenes. Football jumped onto it a couple of years ago. I'm a Liverpool fan. They do it behind Anfield.
I like that.
Pre-match build
really,
up.
really good shot.
Yeah, and you just get to see a little bit. But I think the Ultimate Fighter style is, stick it with follow the fight camps and stuff. Maybe not stick them in a house together because it's like expense.
But if you were just showing the fighters behind the scenes, getting people to latch onto them, then to me, if there were like a small pay-per-view each weekend, I think people would tune in, me.
Yeah, I do. Maybe not each weekend.
Just maybe once a month
I think
to
once
just
a
keep
month.
active.
Again, the biggest players in pay-per-view were WWE. When UFC were up and coming, Dana White went to Vince McMahon to know how to do pay-per-views. And I think that's where the one monthly comes. But it doesn't stop you doing weekly shows. You can still do a weekly show. Do you know what I mean? People can fight 2 or 3 times. It doesn't have to be a different fighter every time they fight. 'Cause people obviously want revenge, want rematches. The show side of it comes, but you've got to have people that are extroverts. You've got to have people that are out there.
Yeah.
Having somebody that's got no personality box or fight, it's just, they ain't got a personality, it's a bit dead, innit?
And that's why a lot of boxers are giving a bit of heat and flack to this misfit stuff, because these people have got followings and it's just the game that we're in now, isn't it?
It's enjoyable, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's still fighting. I mean, you can pay a fortune to go watch a professional boxing match and they spend 12 rounds just jabbing each other and moving away, and it's boring.
Yeah.
And it had gone a bit stagnant. And other than Tyson Fury, there was nobody really there.
No.
You know what I mean? And it's like, he's the only person that really draws fights in now. AJ's had his day. There's nobody else with any sort of like personality. Any ones that did, they always get done for stuff. Like I used to like Billy Joe Saunders.
Did you watch?
He got a lot of grief, didn't
you
he?
watch Nigel Benn's interview on Piers? Is it Piers Morgan?
No, I saw a highlight of it on Instagram.
Don't
Not
look
really.
great, does it? What he's sort of putting out there, I don't know.
What
do you think's
I don't know.
happened? What do
I
you think- what do
agree.
you
Just
think's-
like,
what do you
I
think's
just
happened?
think there
What?
should be like, if people want to juice, just have a look like an association where they can do it.
Yeah, I tune into
do
that.
what the fuck they want.
It's same with
You
rugby
know what I
league. I'm
mean?
like,
Just-
if you let rugby league boys just get as big as possible and just collide into each other, I'd
I was
watch
watching
it.
Joe Rogan when he was talking about Overeem and Lesnar, and he's on about when they had the testing for UFC back then was a sniff test.
Yeah.
and, and he said just
You're
let
fine.
him go for it. Like World's Strongest Man. I mean, they're juiced off their tits and there just to see how far you can push the human body.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just let them do what they want.
Are you a McGregor fan?
I was. Not really much anymore. I just.
No. Fell
And
off a
he's
little-
lost
fell off a
interest in
little
it,
bit,
hasn't he? He's lost interest
He's
in
been
it.
on Premium Mexican, hasn't he? He's been on some good. He's been
We've
on
had
some
this
good shit.
conversation this morning. I think he's on growth.
Mate, his
Have you not
face,
seen
his face,
That's what I said
his
last
face
week.
has changed shape.
That's what I
And
said
it just,
last week.
he's either had work done or he's on growth because his
Yeah.
nose, his ears, everything's, his chin's
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
He
bigger.
might have got
just
his nose
enlarged.
done with. He might have got his nose done with boxing, like, and acting and that stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but
definitely-
everything is how his face is sculpted now. It's totally different to what it was.
It looks a
Like
bit
at the
puffy.
show at the weekend, mate. When have you seen it? Where he's just sat in crowd, or he's doing a little
yeah,
bit of talking.
because he's shaved, hasn't he? So it just.
Well, they were filming a movie there, weren't they?
Roadhouse.
Is it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, because
Oh.
he fought. He like did a mock fight in between.
Did
all-
Wayne's
Did
as
you
well.
watch the
He's
actual fight? He's in shape,
He's
though,
in
isn't he?
shape, innit?
He's in mad shape.
So is Wayne.
The actual fight, I don't know what were happening at the end of it, but he were like, in theory, what had happened is he'd stopped the guy. The ref were jumping in, he just carried on beating him up.
Oh,
but
right, yeah.
Have you not seen his transformation?
No.
no.
Oh, mate, this guy's transformation is
Oh,
sick.
you'll have to send us it. We'll pop it up. on
Yeah,
podcast.
this guy's transformation is sick.
What is
So
it?
he
Weight
has,
loss transformation.
Yeah, mate. Well,
He was like a pikey snowman. That's what it looked like.
Exactly, I saw that on scales and I thought, like, fucking, I knew I got fat with all that, man.
Do you have anything to do with Ben Marsh? Trying to get him up podcast, doing all his vlogs and stuff like that. Yeah, I like his stuff, mate.
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to put in touch with him, I can do.
Yeah, he said he's going to come on, but I think his schedule's just crazy, and he seems to travel without weddings and is doing his vlogs and stuff now.
Somewhere in America, innit?
He just documented all his hair transplant, mate. Fucking crazy to watch. His head swelled like mad to watch.
Really?
Yeah, like had this like almost like a band round his head.
That happened to me
And then
when I
when
was
he's
mine.
pulled the band off, it almost went like a fucking space raider. We're trying to get out to Turkey for his teeth. This is our next operation. We're trying to get
You're
out.
just doing talks.
I've given up on hair and teeth. I'm falling apart, so I'm just
imagine
waiting
this
till I
though.
get
So
dentures.
imagine if the technology got that good that you could just walk into like a clinic tomorrow and you could have a full head of hair. Would you do it? No, you just
I love
embrace the
my
bald.
bald head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I have to dry it. Just, you know what I mean? I get so I
Just
get
no maintenance.
5 minutes longer in bed, 5 minutes longer in the shower. It's just easier.
Yeah.
Now I won't. I don't. I've got when I had hair. People.
You're a married man, aren't you?
No.
No. All right. So
Never been married,
Are you in
never
a
been-
relationship though?
Currently, yeah.
Currently are.
Currently are.
Do you get attention off women with bald head? I think it brings a bit of a.
Got more attention with bald head and a beard than I did with a shaved face and hair.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
Speaking of bald heads, it's Bronson's Braille yesterday, wasn't it?
I just saw that. I actually had it on here.
What's happening with that? I did see it,
I
but
don't know what outcome is, to be honest, but have you watched that documentary?
I've watched bits of it, yeah.
I watched a little bit.
What did someone put here though? It made sense here, but someone put this. Imagine if Charles Bronson wins his parole hearing and is let out after almost 50 years in the nick. How different life will look.
Oh,
TikTok, pronouns, blokes with preened eyebrows, robots
Oh,
delivering
them
shopping,
they.
smartphones. You won't be able to comprehend it. If you watch Shawshank Redemption,
It'd be back in about 2
so
weeks.
Shawshank Redemption,
You
obviously.
give him 2 weeks, a
If-
day,
if-
and I
if he
think
did get
he'll
out, do you
volunteer
reckon
himself.
No, he's an old man now.
I think he'll take one look at Sam Smith and volunteer
Oh,
to go
yeah.
back in.
Yeah, he could, couldn't he?
Do you know what I mean?
He could just make a fortune, mate. He could just go on all TV shows, podcasts.
Did he get paid for his film though? Did the Charles Bronson
His
film?
must
artwork
have
makes a fortune. He wasn't the one that were doing crazy
His
art.
paintings and stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, it'd be like my granddad now, trying to come into society of how we run now. It's so different. Everything's so fast now, isn't it? Everything's internet based. It's just a
Everything,
different
everything offends everybody.
world. Yeah,
Everything offends
Yeah.
everybody.
yeah.
I kind of envy him being inside for 50 years, so you don't have to watch what he says. There's no them days in there, is there?
No,
No.
In Wake.
I just wonder how mentally it must really affect you in there, because there must be a reason why they've not let him out.
But he's not done
Yeah,
anything.
'cause
He's never
that
killed
bad,
anyone.
has
I
he?
know that.
No,
He's
he
never
hasn't,
raped
but
anyone.
he
or
just
anything like that.
keeps doing
Kicking
what
off,
he's
doesn't
doing,
he?
doesn't he? He just keeps biting away at it. He's not doing anything major. He's not killing people, but he just misbehaves probably.
Have you seen the guy in Wakey that's locked underneath?
Yeah, he keeps
Underneath
keeps
what?
knacking
Underneath
him.
Wakey prison.
No.
There's a guy in Wakey underneath the prison in a glass box.
Oh, yeah, Robert Maudsley, is it?
Him that killed, didn't he kill paedophiles?
Yeah.
He went on like a vigilante mission.
He's a cannibal. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Apparently he's a cannibal, yeah.
But
Wakefield Prison is
he has
the
to- he
place
has to
where a
come
lot of
out.
nasty people are in there, aren't
Well,
there?
he has to come out of his glass box because he's been in confinement for some stupid amount of time. And he says, "Can you just put me in the normal prison?" But they're saying he can't because he's so desocialized. He
Yeah.
can't be around anybody, so he can't get out. He's just stuck in a glass box under Wakey prison.
Yeah, but let's say you were in circulation there and in jail, you don't want to be like rooming with a cannibal, do you? I ain't fucking sleeping. Do you know what I mean? It's like there, you've
Don't
got a
wanna be in
serious
Wakey
decision. It's
prison
like, do
full
I even
stop,
knack
mate, if I'm
him?
honest with you.
Like there, you've got a decision. You're just like, I could fall asleep tonight and get killed, or do you like? It's just I can't think of anything.
He might be a nice guy now.
He's not. I bet he's
Yeah,
not.
might have totally chilled out now. Might be a vegetarian or a vegan
Become
now.
vegan.
He'd tell you if he were vegan. They don't go a minute without telling you that they're vegan, do they?
And he says like, oh, I get loads of people like hating him because of his uncles or whatever. He says, well, I'm proud of him. He says he's only killed people that have done wrong. Do you know what I mean? So he says that he not necessarily agrees, but like he sort of understands his side of it. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a mad one, really, isn't it?
Speaking of
I'm all
veganism,
for that eye for an eye, me.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to a degree, doesn't it?
It's a waste of taxpayers' money when
My
you stick
granddad
them
were
in
a big
stick them
advocate
in
of that when I
prison
was
and
growing
stuff.
up. Who were like, if someone does wrong to you, do something back.
Yeah. Purge.
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 I actually watched that film the other day, and I was
Once a
thinking
year.
about this because there's certain rules with Purge. You're allowed certain weapons, but not class 4. So I don't think you're allowed automatic weapons. Like, what would you do in the Purge? Would you lock down, or would you just? Because what they don't portray in the movie.
Yeah,
you've got
yeah,
all these-
yeah.
You've got these people who are coming to the house, and everyone's done all the security and stuff. But I think what they don't show on that, and I'd like a second Purge to this, is there'd be people out there who are organised who just go out and just loot banks and just do everything, wouldn't they? You just, if you were organised there, you could go out and just get yourself set.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it'd be
I'd,
tricky to get into banks. I think you're better off
What
just
do you
robbing
think?
rich folk.
Yeah,
That's
I
why they
agree
go
with
to
that.
the rich houses.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Just go, a couple of people that pissed you off, take the credit cards off them after you've killed them.
Yeah.
Just get yourself
You'd have to just find the older people who are not like savvy with security. The big and they'd probably just put dogs in garden.
would you just purge general people, or have you got people that you would purge?
I'd have to
Have
have
you not got a list?
Have you?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, one sec.
I
I didn't prep for this question.
yeah, there's people I'd purge.
Round
Won't
here?
even think twice about
Round
it.
here or like celebrity-wise?
No, not celebrity-wise. I can't be.
People,
arsed.
people
Just
around
personal.
Oh, sorry.
vendettas.
Sorry. Other than Sam Smith, and if you follow my Insta, you'll understand that.
What fish are them?
Can't stand Sam Smith. Can't stand him. Can't stand him.
I tried to explain to my granddad. I tried to explain to my granddad, like, what does he mean by fish are them? I'm like,
But I didn't get
no,
it.
he's not
I
saying.
didn't get it
He's
at
not.
first.
He's refusing granddad to say fishermen.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to say the word men.
I didn't get what he was doing at first. I'm like, is he writing at him? Is he just getting word wrong and then someone shared
No,
it? Like,
I don't think he's
just
right.
not
I
saying
don't
that
think he's
from-
right in the head. I don't
But have
think
you seen
he
how
is.
much he's changed from like 5 years ago when he was just like a, I'm not going to say a normal looking person, but he just looked like a
Average Joe.
male singer, average Joe, yeah, and then he's just fucking changed. I know people say that when you get to a certain stage, it's like Demi Lovato. Obviously, you know what she used to look like and what she looks like now, and I feel like
It's all these
that
woke
level of
people
celebrity
that's
Do you
doesn't-
changed.
think it's appropriate for the world, or well, younger people, to see him pushed everywhere and publicised like he is, and this expressing yourself the way he does? I just think it warps kids' minds.
Well, you've warped kids' mind, but I shared something yesterday about Andrew Tate, of how the teachers' union had to come together because obviously kids are watching Andrew Tate's content, but they're trying to get rid of it, and the kids in the classroom were like just questioning the teacher, saying, "Where's your bagatti?" Like it had gone,
Fair
it had
play.
gone, it
Fair
had gone
play.
that sort of viral because kids are watching all this stuff. The teachers' union had to come together, but like, how the fuck do we get rid of this guy?
So,
because all my class,
It's
all
such
my
a crime,
little
right? It's such a crime
kids
that
are
a
saying,
man
"Where's my
tried to
bagatti?"
empower other men
Yeah.
and tried to inspire young men and boys to go out there and because he doesn't say cheat the system. He tells them to work hard and
Yeah.
have goals. But yeah, at the moment, women can put men down. The one thing that gets me right is big, beautiful women. Right, you're supposed to empower women for being big and beautiful, but you'll call a man fat. Why is it not big, beautiful men?
It's like when women say like big dick and small dick energy and stuff like that.
Totally.
You body shaming someone. and saying-
Manscaping, if you sit like that, we've got mansplaining and stuff.
Yeah,
You're not meant to do that now.
No.
I'm sat like this.
But until you've got them
This
things
is for
between your
show,
legs
though,
and you
my-
realise
my
how
viewers like
uncomfortable
this.
it is when you sat like that,
Yeah.
you'll never know, especially on a warm day.
I think what it is, me now, I try and look at it of why it's going like that. I think there's been that little adversity or struggle collectively. Like we've had COVID and 9/11 in my lifetime, but there's never been a sort of a reason to galvanise and for men to go and fight for something of worth. We've been in no wars really. If there's wars, it's unseen. So to me, it's just like, I say this because I've got a few friends who are not like pro Sam Smith and all stuff like this, but who definitely take that woke agenda to a bit, don't understand it, I don't think. But if you were ever in trouble or ever faced adversity, it would be a man you'd call upon. Like if I were ever in trouble, it would be a man
But that's what Andrew
that I'd
Tate
call
said.
upon.
Andrew Tate said that if you was out with your man and a guy starts coming and giving you a bit of shit, you expect your man to stick up for you.
Yeah.
But then when the man wants a sandwich, you tell him to make it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's give and take. So, but then
I think that when he comes out, he's got to be the most famous man.
Yeah,
on the
he's got
planet.
Is he
lung
coming
cancer.
out though? He ain't got lung cancer. He's one, whoever's
his,
doing
his Twitter's still active, isn't it?
Yeah, but whoever's doing his ghostwriting on his Twitter has put a tweet out saying like, I don't have lung cancer. I'm absolutely fine. I've never smoked a cigarette. The only thing I do is a scar on my lung from a battle
Yeah,
wound or
so-
something like that. But do you ever actually think he'll get out?
Yeah.
Well, I think
It's
he's
the-
a breach of his human rights right now that they've got him in there for 90 days without any evidence.
90
do you
days
think-
was the limit, wasn't it? And they've took it over 90 days now.
Exactly. So what's to say they're not
He
just
has
going
to
to say
get, he
fuck
has
you?
to get out. He has to
Him and
get out.
Charles Bronson just chilling in Wakey.
Doing
Never know, do you?
Doing podcasts.
Apparently, we're doing a podcast with Kanye, Andrew Tate.
Worry.
That'd be fucking mad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Two opinionated people, like.
Yeah.
That'd be.
What do you think is going on with the world? Why do you think all these people are getting shut down? Why do you think it's men that are getting shut down when you've got women out there like, who's that knobhead singing about
Cardi B.
wet ass pussy song that she brought out?
Well, I
and
think
stuff?
women are not outspoken enough, like Andrew Tate is, and Andrew Tate's obviously trying to change everyone. We just had a conversation just before you come in, and now we're just saying a little bit of that about basically getting out of the matrix and stop working 9 to 5. Which, coming through school, you get taught you should be in a job, you should go be a sparky, you should
told.
be a fucking carpet fitter, or whatever. They don't give you aspirations to go and make
in
something
school, they
yourself.
teach you to be an employee, not an employer.
That's it. So the 1% of people that work for themselves or that are doing success, that's the leaders of the world want to keep you at that in my eyes. They don't want
Yeah.
everybody getting successful because it'll make it more complicated if everyone starts becoming successful and everyone's
We
fighting
had this
for the same
conversation
thing.
office this morning about religion, about it being a control mechanism. That's what school is. School's designed to make you, to teach you to be controlled. Put your hand up when you want to go for the toilet. And the biggest thing right now, my daughter's 14, and you can only go to the toilet once in school, outside of a break or dinner time. And she's 14.
It's too regimented now, that,
you got,
innit?
especially girls are going through change with the body. You can't predict when something's going to happen when a girl needs to go to a toilet. But my daughter has to put her hand up and ask permission to go to it. What the fuck is it? Prison?
It's wrong, innit?
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I read an article the other day about one school that locks the toilets. Locks the toilets.
So nobody can get in.
I never liked shitting at school anyway.
I just fucking shit straight outside toilet me.
Nah,
I'd be telling your daughter, just go and fucking piss in.
I never had a shit at school, ever.
You never?
Did you not?
I was shitting all the time.
I was
mate.
shit anyway,
fucking...
man.
Well, you like watch films where... If
you get pictures
I could
to
just
cue
sort
and-
of see where that could go if someone busted and you're having a fucking pony in there. I'm like, nah, it's not good.
I'd just go there for secret wank halfway through dinner time.
Back to your question there, though,
Still
about...
do, mate.
Back to your point regarding Tate and all this. I think it has to be, if I try and look at it critically, it has to be almost like a power play. So to me, I've always thought this, that society that we've created now, i.e. create workers, taxpayers, feeds the beast.
Yeah.
Like that to me is, it's only been going sort of like 100, 200 years, that sort of system we run it now, capitalism, taxation, and we've built society around this with worker bees and all that shit. To me, that is on a fine pendulum, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say.
No, I get it.
So they have to almost control to a degree, because if you have an uprising of men, they're like, why the fuck am I paying 50% tax? Where's it going to? When people start asking tough questions, which you're in your right to do so, to ask questions about society as a whole, it gets silenced.
So if you think back, so like after World War II, when women were stayed at home, raised the kids, cooked the dinner, the man went to work, what were the best way for the government to earn more money, to make more money off the people? Suddenly the uprising came that women should be independent, women should go to work. Why? Because if they went to work, the government took tax off them. So just by getting women to go to work and put this narrative that they can be independent, they can be just like a man, they can do this, they can do that.
For them
It
to earn
delayed
more
them having kids. So they started having kids in the 30s and the 40s rather than earlier.
Yeah.
But the only it was, there was getting workers and taxing them.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you pay tax on your wage, you pay tax on what you buy, you pay tax on your house, tax on your car. So the more people that work, the more tax the government
How
makes.
scandalous is it? What do you think to that? That's just not taught in schools about tax and...
Or how
It
to
goes
save
back-
or
it
how
goes
to
back-
budget.
That's what
like
we've just
money,
said, doesn't
money
it?
control,
They don't teach you that shit.
investing,
So
saving.
my kids have got credit cards, but they're limited to what they can spend each month. So they get like pocket money. So, but it's designed because when we were kids, you had 20 quid. You knew that if you went and bought a pack of cigarettes, 2 quid, you had 18 quid left. Now it's just all plastic. So my kids are taught now as to how to budget with these little credit cards. So my son will ring me up. How much have I got? Can I buy FIFA? Can I buy some Roblox on his Xbox? And I can check his balance and say, yeah, but if you spend it, you've got none left for the rest of the month. My daughter's really good. So when she goes to like Doncaster and stuff or Wakefield with her mate, she only goes to Primark. And she'll have like 120 quid on a
Yeah,
card.
so
And
you-
she'll
you-
say, can I
you
buy a
teach-
hoodie? It's 6 quid.
You teach you the importance of money.
It's just teach them how to budget.
Yeah.
Which schools
And how to
don't
not get
do.
silly just tapping your card like we
Yeah.
do nowadays.
I mean,
You-
when
you
I was
don't
18 and got my first credit card, I blew loads on it, got straight into debt. It's only when you learn older to manage
That's smart,
stuff.
that.
Whereabouts
So-
did you grow up?
South Hemsel.
Is that where you live now still?
Yeah.
No, I live in Wakefield now, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not
You're
in South
Sandal
Hemsel.
based.
I was just moved to Havercroft. Just got a new pad. But yeah, I grew up in South Hemsel, little mining village. It's all right. It's all right. That's all I'll say on that one.
We're at the hour and 10 mark. Give people a bit of a... How can people find you? What's
So
going
you can
on?
find us on Instagram. My Instagram's PSC official. Or PS Cars official, I think it is. I'm not sure. Basically, just search Prestige Specialist Cars and we'll pop up. I'll pop up. Liam will pop up. The sales guys, they've all got their own little tag, but it all starts with Prestige
We can-
Specialist
we can
Cars.
We'll
pop it
come
up
up,
as
we'll
well,
come
can't
up
we?
and have a little bit of vlogs.
Come
soon.
up, have
We'll
a
to come have
go on the
vlog.
top gigs. Like we went out last month, we got a new rig, a new simulator.
Nice.
It looks like a proper professional one now. And
We'll come have a go.
bought myself a PS5 for it, and it's just that's the thing about the office. It's just to make it a little bit light-hearted.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of complaints to the neighbours because we laugh and joke too much and we're a little bit loud, but
Yeah.
we don't want to take that away. We want it to be a fun place to work, so we just do shit or we go out for something to eat. It's all about being a nice place to work. We don't do regular hours either. We do 10 till 4. So give people a little bit more time at home. We don't work
Good
weekends. We don't stop people having holidays. When it's your birthday, you have your birthday off.
Yeah, man.
It's just
That's how it should be, shouldn't it?
yeah. We don't charge anybody when we have works dues. We take all the staff with us.
You know, when you find the 10 to 4 approach there, are you finding that your sales boys are more willing to work outside of hours on their own deals and stuff
Well,
like
the
that?
job is 24 hours
Yeah.
because most people come home at 5, 6 o'clock, and then
Yeah.
they'll get messages at night time. So I don't want them in the office for too long.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all technically self-employed, so they don't have to come to the office. The nice thing is they do. But we open the office at 10 and we close it at 4 o'clock.
Nice.
It saves people for traffic. It saves people, you know, if they've got kids. Liam's got 2 kids. I've got 2 kids. It saves them having to, you know, do school run and then rush to work. And we're not a company that if you're late, we bollock you and stuff. We understand life can sometimes get a bit much. So we signed up with a partnership called Ben, which is for people in the motor trade for, you know, mental health and depression and stuff. Just so we've got an outlay. And they do charity events and, you know, like gunball rallies, but in old bangers and stuff.
Yeah.
But we just want it to be, we want you to enjoy coming to work. When Liam left Players Cars, he fell out of love with car sales.
Yeah.
So when I rang him up and said, let's come and do some videos, and he asked what I was doing, he jumped straight on.
Yeah.
And it's all about just, you know, enjoying what you do. And that's what we want our staff to do. It's why people came to us from other companies, because we want to make it fun. So we do. We take people out. We have games. We fuck about basically in the office. We have a laugh.
How many sales boys have you got?
Office based. We've got one admin girl. I'm office based. Liam is. A kid called Dave, Gary, Sean. About 6, 7 in office. Hayden. Yeah, Hayden works. A lad called Hayden. Amazing, really. He had a bit of a downward spiral in life, and his life was a little bit out of control. And Liam took him in. He'd known him a while. Took him into his house.
Nice.
Gave him a job part time and got him back on his feet. And to be honest, now he's like 5 months clean now.
Nice.
And it's like we've all been in shit times with life, and we've all needed a second chance. Pretty much everybody at the company's had a second chance or something, and this is what we're trying to give back.
Good man.
So, and it's just like I got a lot of shit for giving an Xbox away at Christmas to an underprivileged family, and loads of people message me saying I'll buy it off you. I said I'm not about selling it. I don't need the £200 what it costs, and I give it to a young lad. Picked him at random, and it turned out his dad had died. When I give it to him, it turned out his mum had died not long afterwards, and he was raising his own brother.
Okay, now.
And I got a lot of shit just because I put a picture of him.
A lot of shit. What, saying that you
Saying
can't
that I was
chase in
attention
and
seeking for it and stuff.
Yeah, the problem, I'm for doing what you did there, because if you're showing what you've done, because people, there's like the big debate with this, like, should you show your generosity in charity or shouldn't you? But if you're showcasing it, it might motivate someone else to go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that's...
It wasn't the whole video on yourself giving a homeless guy a sandwich. It was
Yeah.
just going, I announced it on Facebook and just said, I'm going to give away this Xbox. I bought a new one to a family at Christmas that needed it. And it turned out this kid generally did need it. And he asked me for a job a few months later, but he had no driving license. But it's just, we'll look at anybody, you know, to come
How
and work
hard are
with the
you
company.
finding it, last question about business, how hard are you finding it to, especially in sales now, to find A-star talent closers and good salespeople? Is it tough? Do you more
It comes down to
train and mold
personality.
them?
It comes down to personality. People buy from people. They don't buy from companies.
Yeah.
If you're a nice guy and you're genuine and you're honest, or a nice girl, or a nice them, then you'll
Fish of
you'll
them.
do all right. Yeah, fish of them. You'll do all right. Just be honest, be genuine.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit people, because people can tell it now from a mile away if you bullshit them. And there's a lot of companies out there that do bullshit people. And car sales guys have a bad name anyway.
Yeah.
People think they're kicking bullshit.
We're not social media based and everything. Do you know what I mean? It's not like when people, because it's social media based, they're looking on our page, they come to us. It's not like we're going out there trying to sell you something. Do you know what I mean? So it's good. It's different to your dealership. Like I say, it's a lot more personalised down the route of that. You get free UK delivery to your doorstep and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So all these people that are working and can't get to these showrooms at business hours or whatever, it's all there. You know what I mean? So, and most of the cars come with a minimum. What is it? 12 month warranty.
12 months, weren't they? Yeah, a lot of companies out there.
3 months now, isn't it?
Not saying that, yeah, but that's against the law. Yeah, you got your
He's
car's
just,
got
he's
it.
just been stung. Engine management like first day.
I bought a car last week.
Not from us.
Outright. No,
Ah,
not
quit,
from you,
I'm
not
off,
from
yeah,
you.
off.
I bought a car last week outright, and it's we were driving down to that Misfits. No, what it Misfits? Yeah, we were driving down there, mate. About fucking 20 minutes into it, my engine management like,
What
come
car
on.
is it?
E-Class.
Diesel.
Yeah. And then I've just got into it.
Proper fact.
I've just got into it this morning, and it says something else about
Oh,
fucking
you had a stinker.
Bring it
traction
through to us,
control
we'll sort it.
fucked. Well, I've rung them like, and I've got it booked in to get checked out on Thursday. I'm going to speak to them and say like, what the fuck's going on? It's
Well, that's the one thing. You see, the other companies that we was with, which were players' cars, they only give you 6 months. But
Yeah.
it was self-funded warranty. So if they didn't want to give a claim out, they didn't. And that's one of the biggest things we've had with customers coming back to us. So we've took a lot of their customers because we all work there, but a lot of them wouldn't deal with us again because of the customer service afterwards was so bad. So on anything that's Range Rover, Land Rover, because the reliability is a bit iffy, they get 2 years with us and 2 years breakdown. Every other car gets a minimum of a year, and it's a fully comprehensive one. It's totally third party. and it's actually the same people that do Range Rover's own warranty for their approved used. So pretty much everything's covered. And we included the breakdown because it saves us having to run around, and everybody wants to get recovered, and they expect courtesy cars. But you can go to a main dealer with ours, and they'll pay the main dealer prices. So you get fixed if you have a Mercedes, you can take it to Mercedes.
Go up and have a look this week.
We just want it's peace of mind, like you've just said with that energy management. Like it's peace of mind.
Yeah.
And if you're close to us, I mean, most of my business were Ponty based and Castleford because Ryan worked with me for 6-7 years, referring business to me. And then Stuart Fitness Base, he owns 15% of the company with us. So he's one of our business partners. And it's because of them two people that used to give custom to me, which is why most of my customers are from around this local area. So I used to drop my own personal car off if they've had an issue. So I'd give you my car for the day, and I'd take your E-Class in, get it fixed, and take it back. And it's just, we're trying to give that back, but on a bigger scale to the whole of the UK.
Do you run a lot of Facebook ads? Is it mostly organic you do?
I don't really sponsor much. Do the sponsored ads. These
you run
guys
ads
do, but I
manager
don't.
and retarget stuff, run campaigns like that?
I don't do it anymore, but
You know, we do play, and it definitely does help.
Do you have like lead magnets and email lists and stuff like that?
No, not so much email lists or whatever. It's more like social media based, if you know what I mean. Just to sort of like brand awareness, get his name out there, if you know what I mean. Rather than constant adverts. That's what I find with a lot of these other pages or whatever, like businesses on Instagram. It's just constant car, and it all becomes a bit like it's hard to differentiate between different what they're trying to sell, if you know what I mean, because it's all like that uniform that everything sort of comes into one way. Like I said, we're doing different things in terms of, like I said, videos, doing like putting on the Top Gear challenges, basically not just revolving it around sales, do you know what I mean, trying to make it like a fun place to be.
Yeah. I'm partnered with IH Motorhomes next door.
Yeah.
But our demographic there is quite specific. It's like all 50 plus. And what's worked for us, we've had it away. It won't mind me sharing this, is we run like a lead magnet with the goal of the lead magnet to get them to give us the name and number. And it works a treat. We probably scrape 200-300 names a day. But they get a text straight away, so we've got it automated. So like they're into the ecosystem, but then the email list just churns them out. We're probably selling 16, 17 units from that a month now.
So is that just like
we have a lead magnet, so I'm trying. No, so I set the lead forms up through the ads manager, but it's like the lead magnet's more of a general sort of motorhome-y. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to like first looks, exclusive deals, make sure you're in this list, and all like no offense to the older generation, they're just like fucking at scale. They're coming. They're willing to, because the lead form is key at the minute because it's got autofill, so there's no friction. Like a lot of people online, what I find is just from a business standpoint, they try and drive people off site. Facebook don't really like that. So if you're doing link clicks or anything like that, Facebook want you to remain on the site. Whereas the lead form that they've got there, you've got the ability to get name, number, and email so easy. And it's like it's costing us 50 pence a lead. It's like really, really cheap. So I'd give that a little look. Yeah. We'll have to appreciate the time, boys. What we're doing, an hour and 22.
Yeah.
Done and dusted.
We'll organise to come over and have a look at it.
Yeah, come down, and obviously we want to look and talk to you about videos and stuff for our own YouTube channel to get some of these challenges done. Might even get you two involved.
100%.
See how good your car buying skills are. Get some old bangers and see if you can do some challenges.
As you know, my car buying skills are not great, but
I can tell you didn't come to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I might see if they'll take it back. Actually,
happy boys.
It's only been a week.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Soft,